Hello, welcome back. Eric here. Welcome back to my closet. I guess this is where I'll be making videos when I'm at home for the foreseeable future. So it's all right. Here in Shenzhen, housing is a little bit different from Xishuangbanna. Anyway, today is the first day that it's rained in like 3 or 4 months here in Shenzhen. And so I figure on a bleak day, dark day, best not to go outside. It's also Spring Festival, Chinese New Year coming up in a day or two. So the town's dead anyway, not much going on. So I just thought I'd make a little video for you guys, talk about Nio. Before we get into it, this is not investment advice. This is just me talking about my experience with Nio so far and what I've learned. I went from not really knowing much about this company to really starting to believe in this company over the past few months. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about why. However, you should always make your own decisions, do your own research, and I just hope some of this can help. Obviously, I'm quite lucky. I'm in a position here in China where I'm staying in a tier 1 city. I can see firsthand on the ground what's going on with a lot of different Chinese companies. Again, this is not investment advice, but like, for example, a while back, there was the whole Luck and Coffee deal. At that time, I wasn't really active on YouTube or Reddit or anything like that. If I would have been, I would have gladly told you guys, do not invest in Luck In. Well, I wouldn't have told you that because it's not investment advice, but I would have given my opinion that it's not a good investment for a myriad of different reasons. However, being in this position here in China, I can see what's going on with Chinese companies. I don't have all the information, of course. I'm still just a regular guy, a consumer, I guess you would call me, just a regular citizen. However, I can go to a Luck and Coffee, or like my very first Nio test drive, I just walked to Nio and went for a test drive. And that was pretty much right after I did that test drive, I bought some shares in Nio. And since then, I've increased my position. Not a huge position, but I do think it's quite a good company. I like the cars, that sort of thing. Tell you a little bit about why I like the company, and also try to clear up a few misconceptions about Nio, and also just let you know a couple things that I learned just from talking to Nio employees recently, by visiting the Nio House twice, and also the Nio Space that's here nearby my home in Shenzhen. First, to clear up any confusion, a Nio Space is basically a sales room, a dealership, what you would expect from any kind of retailer. That's from my experience, okay? I haven't seen every Nio Space, obviously. But and then a Nio House is a lot more complicated, and we'll go into that later. But I've seen some people online say, oh, they shouldn't be doing all these Nio Spaces and Nio Houses and things like that. I'm going to talk about why I think it's actually kind of a good idea for the Nio House, especially. Most of the high-end retailers around the tier 1 cities and maybe tier 2 cities in China, they might have a Nio Space, like the high-end shopping malls, that sort of thing. But they're not anything like fancy or crazy or a waste of money. You got to sell your car somehow, right? So you got to have a retail space to get the mind share. Still, a lot of people in China don't really know what Nio is. I actually tried to go out and talk to people a while back and ask them what are their thoughts on Nio and other electric cars. And I might share it with you guys, or I might go out and interview more people again. But it was quite hard because a lot of people were like, I don't know what Nio is. I'm talking to young people, 20s, 30s. Possibly, maybe, potentially a good demographic for EV cars or for homegrown good brands, but they didn't even know what Nio was. They know what Tesla is, they know what Apple is, but still Nio doesn't have a huge mind share, to be perfectly honest. But it's growing. It seems to be growing. Besides the Nio Space, there's also the Nio House. Here in Shenzhen, there's one. It's at the Nio flagship store in Futian district. Futian is kind of like the central business district of Shenzhen. And also, the Nio House and the Nio store there is in the Ping An Financial Center, which is the tallest building in Shenzhen. It's obviously a very expensive prime retail location. When people are talking online, making comments saying like, oh, Nio's wasting a lot of money having these Nio houses and all this expensive real estate, there might be a case for that argument in this kind of instance with the Nio House. However, I will kind of give you a counterpoint to that. The counterpoint is this. The more I learn about Nio, the more I go to see Nio shops or or drive Nio cars or interact with Nio fans or Nio users, the more I do it, the more I feel like Nio really is trying to be like the Apple of electric vehicles. And since they're basically copying Apple's formula, look at where Apple stores are. They're in the best retail spaces in every city. Now, a Nio House is a place where you're supposed to go and experience the Nio lifestyle. Just like an Apple store, yes, you can buy stuff, but it's also a place where you go and experience the Apple lifestyle. You know, you go and learn about Apple. You attend events. You meet other people that are into the brand or into the products. It's not really like a hardcore sales pitch, right? It's like a place to go and experience a brand and a culture and a community. You know, a lot of people just go there to buy a phone, but a lot of people also go there to hang out. Whenever I go to the Apple store, like in Shanghai, or I haven't been to the one in Shenzhen, but in Shanghai or in Bangkok, I see a lot of like classes going on and kind of like community building. And I think that's very clear that that's what the Nio House is striving to do. It's trying to make like an experience. They call this modern economy, it's the experience economy, right? I remember learning about this in college. Like I was in college like almost 20 years ago now, but I remember learning about this. You know, I don't remember. I remember it being kind of controversial at the time, but I think, you know, from what I remember of the experience economy and what they were predicting, it's kind of played itself out. Like people want to go and take a picture, right? They want to go and go somewhere where they can share something more than they want to actually have a product in hand. Well, it's a little bit of both, right? But the experience is just as important as the product. That's why we have unboxing videos, and that's why we have, you know, beautiful boxes to unbox. This is why we have Instagram and we have YouTube, and people want to share things with each other and experience things. And so again, I've been to the Nio House twice in the past couple weeks now in Shenzhen. And, you know, last time I went there, I was talking to the manager of the Nio store in Shenzhen, and she was talking to me about why they do it and some of the things that they have there. And so I'm just going to share basically what she told me. They have a library, they have seating areas, they have a kids play area with childcare, so you can go and have a coffee while the Nio staff will watch your children. Big table where they can have a lesson on whatever kind of subject they want to have a lesson on. They have a conference room, so if you're a business person and you want to rent a conference room, and it, you know, has all the tech, you know, a projector and everything else you would need for a conference room. And it also has kind of like a workshop space where people can join and have an activity or maybe play guitar or whatever they want to do. And a lot of Nio users take advantage of all this stuff. You might say, why is a car dealership, somebody selling a car, have all this stuff, right? And the point is, obviously, it's basically following Apple's lead. Is you create a lifestyle, you create an experience, and you create a place where people can share that with each other. And sure, maybe like the actual retail space itself there is expensive and it's not making any money, but they're not selling you a product, they're selling you a lifestyle. That's going to be a lot harder to put a value on. When I was there, they had a little workshop going on for kids, like an arts and crafts workshop. There was Nio staff member there taking pictures with a nice camera. They had Nio staff running the workshop. They had provided all the arts and crafts supplies and stuff for all the kids. And this is all free for the Nio users, for the Nio owners. They can exchange their coins or their points that they get on the app from checking in on the app and from purchasing the car. And, you know, there's ways to earn points, but then they can exchange these points for activities and experiences that they can share. Most people, you know, they go and buy a car and then they go and drive the car and that's it. And that they have a car. But Nio's trying to sell you, first they get you into the ecosystem with the car, and then they give you points and they give you feedback. You know, it's like the gamification of everything these days, but you get feedback for posting on the app or for sharing things with your friends. You get this feedback loop where you get more points and you can come back and you can turn them in at the Nio House, or, you know, you're just sharing your experiences. And so, you know, in China for sure, and everywhere around the world, is you share your experiences, you share the things that make you happy and make you feel proud of yourself, and the ways you want to show off, you share that on your social media. You're going to be sharing this stuff, and people are going to want to aspire to be part of this group. And also, most of your friends are from the same kind of socioeconomic background as you. they have the buying power to buy a car like this. And, you possibly invite your friend who also has a child to come and experience this community workshop for the kids where they're doing arts and crafts. And then that other person is like, wow, this is kind of a great community I want to be a part of. I can have activities for my child for free. I can get coffee. I can have a place to rest when I'm shopping. And so, you might say that Nio House is a waste of money for, it's not actually making money selling products, right? But by creating this kind of shared experience where people can come together and build a community, you're making something bigger where people, they might not have a car now, but maybe next year when they're in the market for a car, they're going to buy a Nio because their friend has a Nio, because they've experienced this great community, and it's something they want to be a part of. Why buy a Tesla or a BMW? And I'll buy a car and it'll be nice, but I can have these other experiences. And I think that's really, from what I've seen, that's really what Nio is trying to sell. And this is not an ad for Nio. I'm not saying I completely buy into the whole. I mean, I have an iPhone, I have a Mac. I like these brands, but like I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid, but a lot of people do. Whether it's actually drinking the Kool-Aid or not, it's hard to say. Maybe they just really like it, or maybe it's the marketing getting to them. It doesn't matter how it is or why it is, but it works. It works for a lot of them. If you look at the 2 interviews I did with the owners of Nio, they both said they would buy a Nio car in the future. They both really enjoy the brand. They both share their Nio experience all the time on their social media. Nio is really about the lifestyle, a lot more so than a lot of other brands. And you can really see how that's a direct kind of inspiration from Apple, because Apple's the same way. Okay, if you don't know about Today at Apple, let me just read you what the definition basically is. Today at Apple is a series of hands-on creative sessions hosted at Apple stores around the world. It is the liberal arts extension of Apple retail. Today at Apple is designed to help you go further with your creative passions and get the most out of Apple products that you own and encourage connection with others. I would say that the experiences at the Nio House are the same exact thing. They're Today at Nio, you could say. I was told they try to have 3 activities a day at the Nio House for kids and for adults. When I was there, they had an arts and crafts activity for kids. Of course, it's meant for the Nio users. These people also can invite their friends. They might not be Nio users. They spend coins that they get on the app, and they can invite their friends and take part in these activities for free. And so they're building this community. Same thing, they're helping you go further with your creative passions, get the most out of the Apple products, the Nio products that you own. So it's obviously very inspired by Apple. I'm just going to quote from a Forbes article from a couple years back, again about Apple. I think it's very clear that Nio is trying to do the same thing as Apple in this case. Retailers should think beyond providing information just about their merchandise to providing information about the customer's lifestyles, dreams, aspirations that their merchandise makes possible. They need to meet that higher level need with meaningful information above and beyond the lower level drive to sell more product. And then you will bind that customer for life. In the experiential economy, retailers need a similar Today at Apple strategy to serve their customers' lifestyle interests, not just their product-specific needs. So again, I think the Nio House is providing activities that will bind their customer for life, and that's their point. Apple is re-envisioning its stores as town squares, places where people can come together, learn, and experience, as well as places to buy product. The store becomes one with the community, Apple's vice president of retail explained. The overarching vision of the future of Apple retail is, what do we want Apple's role in the community to be? And then Forbes goes on to say, this is a powerful idea. The retailer as a place for people to share experiences in a community of collaboration. Modern, very successful retail is not a place where you just go to buy a product, but it's a place to go and experience something and to be a part of a community. And I think Nio understands that very well. One other way they do this, besides the activities and everything I talked about, is they have 2 different point systems. I actually learned. I only knew about the one kind of coins that you get and you can turn in for coffee or for activities at the Nio House. There's also a second point system the Nio manager was telling me about. So she told me that if you volunteer or if you do something like for the company, basically, you can also get points. So she told me that her car, she has an EC6, and she said she basically donated it to the company for a month to be used as a display in the mall right across from the Nio store that she works at. So she doesn't have her car for a month, but she's earning points instead by doing that for the company. And other people, like at Nio Day, it was all fully staffed by volunteers, and they can earn points for volunteering and for promoting the company and that sort of thing. And these points can also they're not to be exchanged for like products like shirts or coffee or anything like that. They're to be basically put you on a list to get you into like a higher tier of Nio user. It's the EP club, she said. And so by doing good deeds and things like that and building a community, you can be put higher on this list and you can get special rewards that are very exclusive for these people. So that's another way that they really promote their brand, but they do it not through like direct marketing. They do it through their own users. And it's a lot like Apple, how there's a lot of word of mouth, especially in the beginning with Apple, where, you know, it was so cool to have an iPhone or an iPod even. You know, it's the same thing. I get the feeling from Nio users is it's really cool to have a Nio, and they want to tell you about it. It remains to be seen if Nio can, you know, create the same kind of customer loyalty and lifetime customers that Apple does, but they're obviously really trying. That's what they want to do. I think they're on their way to doing it, but I think it's going to be a lot more difficult simply because, you know, they're selling a $50,000 car, not a $500 phone or iPod. You know, I do think the future is bright for them, and they're doing the right things to build this loyalty. Maybe when Apple comes out with the Apple car, people are going to be like, oh, Nio was cool and everything, but, you know, I still have that special place in my heart for Apple. So, you know, again, it remains to be seen. But I think this company's got something. They're more exciting to me than some of the other car brands around China. After talking to Nio employees at the Nio stores, the Nio Space and the Nio House, I've been told that Nio ET7, the new model ET7, the pre-orders are over 400 cars for Shenzhen. Now, I've seen online people say they saw, like the day after Nio Day, there was 40,000 pre-orders for ET7. I would call BS on that, but we have to wait for Nio to come out with their actual numbers. But I would say there's no way there's 40,000 pre-orders for the ET7. That's not with any inside information or anything like that. That's just talking to Nio employees at the Nio store. They said over 400 ET7 pre-orders in Shenzhen. Now, Shenzhen is, if you don't know, a tier 1 city. There's a handful of tier 1 cities in China. They're the cities with the most buying power, the wealthiest people. And so if there's 400 here and 400 in Shanghai, maybe, for example, 400 in Guangzhou, 400 in Beijing, maybe 400 in Chengdu, who knows? You're still nowhere close to 40,000. And those are the cities that are going to have Nios be pre-ordered. They're not going to be pre-ordered from places like Hefei, maybe, for example, where Nio's located. You might get a few, but the buying power is just not there. So I would keep your expectations in check for how many pre-orders you're going to hear for ET7. Another thing about the pre-orders for ET7, currently if you pre-order, you put 5,000 RMB down. When it comes out, you get 10,000 off. So like they give you a 5,000 discount basically. And currently you can return that money if you don't want it up until Q3 of 2021. So right now there's like no risk in putting a pre-order down. So some people might not even, you know, buy it. They might just be putting it down just in case they decide they want it and to get the discount. The real pre-order numbers I think would be Q3 when you can no longer refund your money. But yeah, I was also told that if I did pre-order now in Shenzhen, I would get my car in the second or third batch of ET7s when they come out. So that's my little chat on Nio on this rainy Shenzhen day. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and if you want more kind of like thoughts on business and on the ground kind of stuff for Chinese companies, Chinese brands, please give me a comment. Tell me what you want to see, what brands you want to see. And that's about it. So I hope you have a happy Chinese New Year, good Spring Festival, eat whatever you want, get a lot of hongbao, and that's it. So 再见。